Coach, I was just curious, after digesting last night, what were you guys able to get done today? And just looking back on the film, what did you see from last night's game?
I mean, the biggest thing we tried to get done was what could we learn from last night that'll help us tomorrow night. There's some similarities with Morant and Gilgeous-Alexander as far as how we want to guard those guys. And just going through all the pieces that entails. And then, digesting some of the stuff that we did later in the game, situationally, to try to really on the defensive end to give those good players like that different looks.
Just a quick follow. Devin was saying you guys mostly just got up shots today. How are you handling that part? Okay, well, you probably would like to do a quote normal practice, but this just doesn't seem like the situation to be doing that per se. I guess how are you dealing with that part of this situation right now?
I mean, I think just given where we are in the schedule, we have a lot of games in a short amount of time. So, COVID aside, those are times where you're really mindful of the guys' bodies and legs. And that's something we kind of already had sort of planned out anyway. And then I think the biggest thing that where the current situation gives you a little bit of pause and have to think things through is just the timing component of like when you can practice, when you can't practice, and how that interplays with everybody's normal, game day rhythm and whatnot.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
All right, next up, we're going to go to Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Jim Conlon.
Hey, Coach, with your G-League roots, I'm sure you've noticed a handful of names that have been getting an opportunity lately, just kind of in an unprecedented way. I was just curious your thoughts on that, just the opportunity these guys are getting with the hardship exemptions.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things in pro sports is to be a fringe NBA player. I lived that life for 9 years, and it's tough. Guys are trying to do everything they can to get an opportunity, try and also still be financially stable. So you're balancing of being in Europe and coming back at the right time and so on and so forth. So all those guys who are getting an opportunity, I think it's great. I think it's a great thing for one, those players, and two, the G League in general. That's what it's there for, is to provide guys opportunities. And I think this is probably the best, kind of the best showcase for that league right now.
Can you just give us an update on how Emmanuel has looked in practice for the 36 hours he's been with the team and how he's trying to get adjusted?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, today was really the first day to get a decent look at him. He's a live body, long arms, athletic. So that's, the type of guy you could put into our system, and he could be able to, be a dynamic roller and so forth and fit in with kind of our pick and roll packages and whatnot. So I like his energy, and if the situation permits itself, maybe he'll find some minutes.
Next up, we have Jim Conlon from Ireland, followed by Jeff Schneider.
Hi, Kevin. Kevin, I know you've been around the NBA for a long time now at this stage, but were there any still learning points or learning curves that you learned from last night?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're always learning. I think one of the biggest things is when you're playing against really good players, and how do you stop some of the star players? We did some stuff to Morant that we really liked, some stuff that we have talked about a lot in our practice and stuff, and we haven't had to use a lot, but last night we were able to use some of that. So those are good things we can kind of add, to our defensive tool belt as we navigate the season and inch towards the postseason with those things in mind. And then, again, the situation that we're in it's difficult because you just don't have guys. You don't have the guys that you're used to. So how does that impact the rotations? That was a big thing from last night, and trying to clean that up. Given that we're short bodies, how can you still maintain the guys' normal rotations the best you can, but also being mindful that you're down certain positions? So that's probably the biggest balancing act, I think, right now.
And Kevin, just a vested question here, given your Irish connection. Just in relation to your time in 2006, did you ever come across Mark Keenan, the now Irish senior basketball manager? And do you follow the fortunes of the Irish senior basketball's men's team and with Mark in charge, if you've come across him?
Yeah, he was coaching Colester when I was coaching the hoops, and great guy. Really respect him. Like most of you and your countrymen, just really good people. Really liked getting to know him. But yes, I follow the national team quite a bit. I've had Ian O'Boyle was a former player of mine that played on the national team for years. So through that connection, I've kind of followed the national team. I know that they had a really good summer, and I think the future is really bright for the national team there. I'm glad to see it kind of having a resurgence.
All right, next up we have Jeff Schneider with 12 News, followed by Gerald Bourguet.
Hey, Coach, just curious about something. Last night, as you're sitting on the sidelines, are you channeling Monty when you're sitting there coaching the team, or are you basically just involved in the game and you're just doing your thing and your way, or are you trying to coach like Monty would be coaching?
No, I mean, the good thing for this situation is Monty and I see a lot of things similarly, dating back to our time together, even as assistant coaches in Philadelphia. And so there's a lot of commonalities, I think. But I think I'd be doing the guys a disservice if I tried to, do things exactly how Monty would do them. I just try to do the best I can with what I see and what I feel and what our staff sees and feels. And Monty's encouraged me to do that. And, that's what I tried to do last night, and that's what I'll try to do as we move forward here until he gets back. I mean, but let me also say to that, I mean, we talked on the phone a lot after the game. We talked on the phone a lot this morning. So, he's been great, just me throwing things at him and just trying to help me out the best that he can while he's away.
All right, next up we have Gerald Bourguet with PHNX, and then we'll kick it back over to Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to follow up because I know that you had said Monty was really supportive as far as, fully handing the keys over to you. I was just curious what, encouragement or support or advice he may have had to offer after last night's game, what those kind of follow-up conversations were like afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, he FaceTimed me, right after the game, and he was like, "Man, I really wanted that for you and for the guys. We were obviously, really close to pulling it out there after being down, but just him in my and our corner, feels good. But just getting into some of the nuances of things that he obviously has a great understanding for, and being able to lean on his experiences, obviously with this team and just in general of being a head coach. I think the way I would summarize it is just very supportive in all facets.
And to follow that up, based on his support, and Book was also saying that play that you drew up near the end there was one that you guys had done in training camp as well. It just seems like there's a lot of continuity and that culture built in. How helpful is it for you to kind of have that when you have this unique situation in front of you with so many guys out and Monty out as well?
Yeah, no, it's big. I mean, continuity is something that has served us well here. As it relates to that play, I even told Book in the huddle, I said, "Hey, man," and I was actually coaching Book's team in that scrimmage in training camp when we drew that play up. So I told him, I said, "Hey, we ran this in training camp, and our guys are really high IQ guys, and he knew exactly what we were trying to get done, and just try to get him the ball. He made a great play."
All right, we'll kick it back over to Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Just a quick follow, Coach. Not only Devin talking about you today, but Cameron Payne and Cam Johnson were giving you high praise as well, talking about that play, even the last play, able to even get Bridges even a look. Just how does that feel, knowing that you guys already have a buy-in mentality, but to have the players like immediately behind you in this situation?
I mean, it's all you can ask for. You know, you just try to, you know, as a coach, you just try to do everything you can to give the players the best chance to win. You know, as an assistant coach, you're doing that a lot via game plans and the teams that we have that we scout and prepare the game plans for. You know, obviously I'm heavily involved on the offensive side. So you just try to, you know, shoot them straight and try to help them. And you know, I'm really appreciative that those guys, I actually saw that somebody sent me that clip, and I was kind of blown away at just, you know, how supportive they were. So I don't take that for granted. I know we have a really good group of guys, and I really am grateful that, you know, they have my back and I have theirs, and we'll try to get some wins until Coach gets back.
All right. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Yep.